Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Ooh, dating can be scary. I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today's episode is what makes your home look dated.
You want to aim for timeless and classic, but even classic needs a freshening up now and again. And when I say classic, I don't necessarily mean traditional, just classic furnishings that would have staying power. Sometimes even those need freshening up. But there are certain things that are just so telltale that will date your home to a certain time frame, a certain trend, and those are the things we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, I'll kick it off with old ceiling fans. You know what I'm talking about. And the most dated looking ones are the ones that have the four-armed lights, and it's got those tulip glass shades.
Yes, or the boob shade, the boob light in the center. So bad. Dated, probably dusty, even if you're a real clean buff, but those are just going to bring the whole room down. And when you walk into a place and you see that, you're like, I know when that was put up, and that was a long time ago, and it really wasn't that good looking then, and it certainly didn't improve with age. So those things should go. It's so easy to update a ceiling fan or change it to a ceiling light if that's something you want, whether it's a flush mount or you do a chandelier. But if you like a ceiling fan or you need a ceiling fan, there are really pretty ones now and sort of low profile ones, white ones that will blend with a white ceiling. Much better choices and won't date your home going forward.
If you have not looked at ceiling fans in a long time, they have completely changed. They are very different looking. They almost look like a propeller on a plane now. A lot of them do. So there's so many fun styles. There's so many options. But I know 20 years ago, there was just, white or brown. That was your choice. And then multi-light or one light.
And it's not even real wood normally. It's a weird laminated particle-y board sort of thing. The blades are made of that. And maybe in time gone by, the ceiling fan was supposed to sort of be a focal point because it was also a light fixture. So if you can get away with one not being a light fixture, I think that's a good way to go too. And that's really when you can get into these really lovely streamlined looking ones like Anita's mentioning. So it has the functionality, but it's not drawing your eye to it. It's just doing its job, swirling the air around and not trying to grab attention from the rest of your decor. But those oldies are really going to bring your room down.
Well, yeah, a couple of notes here. One thing is, if it's an old style ceiling fan, but there's no light on it, I think you're fine. I think when we get into trouble is when the light kit is on it, because just a plain ceiling fan, I don't find offensive, even if it's the older style. It's the light kits that really kind of are the nails on the chalkboard for me. Mm-hmm. And I have actually some older style ceiling fans in my house that we never put a light kit on, and I think they're just fine. And that's why we didn't put a light kit on, because none of them appealed to me, and we were able to put other lighting in the room. So that's one option. But now if you have the light kit, you can just change the light kit out. But quite frankly, I think your biggest cost is going to be hiring the electrician to do the work.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you're going to do that, I would just go ahead and replace the ceiling fan, because they're really inexpensive now. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's. There's so many options, and they're so readily available. So if you're going to pay for someone to come do it, I would just change it out altogether.
Next up on what makes your house look dated is to farmhouse.
Ouch.
Farmhouse. We all did it hard. Some people did it so hard. They had no business going down the farm road, but they did. Their house looked farmy, even if it was in a suburban cul-de-sac. That's gone. It's over. Modern farmhouse is really lovely, and it blends some of the elements of farmhouse, sort of more casual, simpler lines in the furnishings, even the more neutral color palette. That is surviving, but it's morphing into this different type of aesthetic. The too farmhouse, too distressed, it's just over, and it really is going to date your home. But it's easy. Here's the good news, is if you went hard on farmhouse, let the chickens free, take down the signs, you don't have fresh eggs, and you, right? Just stop. But it's easy. Take it down. It's okay. And if you bought furniture that was too distressed and you don't want it to be too distressed anymore, you can just paint it. There are so many easy fixes to what we're talking about today. Don't be bummed out if there's something that you have in your home that's on this list. Our caveat always is, Anita and I stand by you. Even if you want to have a lot of farmhouse, and even if you want to have a boob light ceiling fan, we love you. So, just know that as you're listening.
Well, and I agree with you, Kelly. We're talking about what makes your home look dated, but if it's something that you love and you want to keep, then keep it.
If you want to keep dating it, keep dating it. In a good way or a bad way. It's up to you. This is just all information.
Yeah, sometimes people have something and they know it's dated, but they really like it. In that case, keep it. I mean, we're just giving it. But this is just for people who don't want their house dated. If you don't care, then maybe skip this episode.
Right.
But no, really, there'll be something in it for you.
There'll be something for you. And we're going to have some laughs, so come on. Let's just all take it in the spirit of which it's being given. Okay, now, if you're a man listening, you need to walk away for I'm going to say a minute or two. Why? Are they dated too? If your husband is dated, get rid of him.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think he's not going to like hearing this. Oh. Stained wood paneling.
Oh, they love that a lot of times. But
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be painted. Yeah. And a lot of people feel like it's kind of a permanent change, which it kind of is. But
it's okay, honey. It's a permanent change. Better than getting rid of him. Just get rid of the paneling.
I'm going to say the stained wood's been out for at least 20 years. I'm going to call it. I think it's okay to say it now.
It's so out that it's actually sneaking back in, but when it sneaks back in, it's different.
Yeah, it's all different.
So it's not the same.
You'd have to have it all refinished. Trust me, it's going to be so much easier just to paint it. And
exactly.
If you go with just a deep saturated color, we loved Kendall charcoal and Hale navy.
What about those yummy greens we talked about last week?
Yeah, we'll link to the green episode, and some of those dark greens would be beautiful in this paneled study. So just think about it.
Now you turned it into a paneled study. I was picturing kind of like a suburban basement, but paneled study sounds so much better.
Well, I'm trying to keep it up there.
Yeah, keeping it up there. Okay, so now we're saying paint something, but it doesn't have to be white, because the all-white aesthetic, that's over too. So I bet very few people that are listening went that far into the white spectrum where everything was white, but you did see that all over Instagram. But that was kind of like you would picture fashion on the runway. Like, whoa, that's way out there. I might do a little bit of that. So if you've done a little bit of white, we love it. It really freshens everything up. But if you went really hard, everything's white, sofas white, walls white, floors white. I mean, come on. Who wasn't tempted to paint their floor white at some point in the not too distant past? Mm-hmm. I know.
I wanted to paint my floor white. I really did. But I didn't.
But I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't, right? Because that is a permanent thing. Pretty much permanent. You could spend the rest of your life trying to remove that. But if you went really, really far into the world of white, pull back a little bit. Find an accent color that you like. Find some wood tones that you like. And bring them in. Welcome them into the home.
Remember the big chevron phase?
I never liked those, I have to say.
I didn't either. I mean, everyone was using tape on their walls, on their fabric, and painting these chevrons and everything.
What was it? Is it wasabi tape? What is that tape? Everyone was going crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that you and I are not really that much of a DIYers. We just like to decorate. And so and plus I just never liked it. But now, what are you going to do with all that stuff? I mean, it's all at the thrift store now.
Chevron, I think, is just a hard type of pattern to live with. I mean, it's been around for forever, but so is Paisley, and I just could live with Paisley so much more.
Yeah, but Chevron's so 2015.
It really is, because it was so prevalent then. That's what we're talking about today. It dates your home because that's when it was around. Another thing that will date your home, and it could put you in the Wayback Machine or just last year. Dried flowers. It is time, my friends, to put the pampas grass in the compost pile. You knew that was going to happen, so I hope you didn't spend a lot of money on dried flowers. It was fun. It had a resurgent. It had a trendy moment. If you still had dried flowers from the Wayback Machine, like maybe your mom's dried flowers, they should have been gone a long time ago. If you tried to bring them back out, again, like the paneling, they really weren't going to work with the new trend of dried flowers.
What about a little dried lavender in a bowl?
Okay, but that's
with that, right?
That's a different thing.
Okay.
But if you were what we were seeing last year as a trend, and we can link to the trends episode. Hey, we bring the news to you. We're not saying do it, right? But everybody was buying these big pampas grass. Like some of them were pink. And I'm like, sure. And you said, like, that looks so pretty in an urn or a giant vase or something. But yeah, they could probably get dusty. It's time for them to move on.
Yeah, and they just kind of read-dead at some point. It's hard to make those look good. Well, I'm just telling you.
Nothing dates you like being dead. So there you go.
I'm saying in photos.
Yeah.
I just started talking to some of the stylists and the photographers in some of the magazine shoots I've been at. They said they cannot take photos of dried flowers because they just look dead in the photos. Yeah. Which literally they are.
But yeah.
So what about the large media cabinets? You know the kind. It's under the TV. It's to the right side. It's to the left side. It's over the top. It's massive. It's 12 feet wide. It takes up the whole room.
Yeah. Those are tough.
Those need to be gone. That's too much. And maybe just the cabinet underneath and let the rest of it go.
Yeah, let it breathe a little bit. As are those giant armoires that everybody was trying to hide their TV in. I just had a client, and man, I was literally just there yesterday afternoon. You could breathe better in her living room. She had a pretty living room, but they had a massive, massive mahogany armoire. And you couldn't
How wide was it?
Oh, it was 65 inches wide and almost to the ceiling. Big. It was huge. It was hulking, and it was in the living room, and they had it. And at some point there was a TV in it. At some point she tried to use it for linens and whatnot, and then just landed in the living room. It was doing nothing to support that room. In fact, it was kind of breaking up the ability to actually have a conversation between the sofa and the chair people, So we took it out of there. I cannot tell you how much that improved the room. It was like, when I walked in, I had my guys come and move it. She said, I wish I had done this, 10 years ago. So if you've got something like that, the TV's no longer in it. If you don't need all those boxes like DirecTV and yada, 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 and you're streaming now, and that thing is just sitting there empty, but you're like, oh, it's a big piece of furniture and I paid money for it. Well, I'm sure it gave you its service. It doesn't owe you anything. Let it go. And you just see them with all the other armoires at the thrift stores now lined up. And then there's another row with the China cabinets.
China cabinets, I was going to say. That is called a sunken cost. You're not getting that money back, but you don't need to suffer for that.
I love when she talks accounting.
So, just enjoy your life.
Yes.
And just get on with your life. Yes. And just, don't be punishing yourself for that decision you made, 10 years ago. Just let it go and get on and enjoy the rest of your life.
Right, because it was useful then. It's not useful anymore.
That's right. And you do not stay stuck in 1995.
No, don't do it. How about those builder grade taupey tiles? They're kind of like rough. They kind of want to make them look natural.
The Tuscan tiles?
They're kind of Tuscan, right? They're a little rough around the edges. They're usually matte, and they're kind of like, you're like, are they gray? Are they taupe? Are they just maybe a little dirty? Right? builders were using those like crazy in the 2000s, early 2000s. If you have those in your house and the budget allows, get them out of there or go on YouTube and figure out how you can paint them. Because again, like this giant armoire in my client's living room, changing that will make such a difference in your home.
True. How about vertical blinds? I mean, they were really never. I
can't even say anything. We've talked about those before, and I'm not going to tell my story when I was dating a guy who's from vertical blinds. Because
I wish I knew where that was.
I was unfortunate.
If I can find it, I'll link to it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to find it.
Oh, please. I let a dirty secret out, and there it was. And then my mother ended up with vertical blinds.
Oh, yeah, no, but just they never were nice. I mean, maybe, I don't know what year that was, but just take them down and get on with your life. You're going to be so much happier.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Okay, another thing I just did, I've been helping this lady stage her condo for sale. Now, staging is a nice term to use, but we had to do a massive amount of clutter clearing and cleaning and all of this. And one of the things that she had was this very unfortunate carpeting on her staircase, ripped it off, and also didn't even go with it, a orange oak stair banister. And then the stair, the thing, it was really wrought iron. So it didn't even really go together and just looked so wrong. Took the ugly carpet off, painted the wooden banister black, painted the wrought iron, kind of work there white, did the treads in black and the risers in white. Oh, what a difference. So if you've got one of those orange oak stair rails, hey, that is really easy to change, whether you're talking about changing the spindle. I shouldn't say change, transform. Whether you're transforming the spindles and the banister or just one or the other. Super easy to fix. And you can do that even if your flooring is still sort of that orange oaky color.
Speaking of that orange, or what I like to call golden oak, if your kitchen still has that, it's time to paint over that or replace them. And I say that as someone who has some golden oak cabinets still in my rental house, a vacation rental, because, we just were kind of waiting for the right timing to replace them. But I just don't know how much longer. Kelly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to
Yeah, I don't think you're going to. I feel like I might just have to get an emergency flight and come over there and we'll just rip those the bad boys
the
out.
The cabinet lady is coming this summer.
Lady.
So I will be talking to her and seeing what it's going to cost.
What the options are, right.
Yes.
But, and if you just decided to go, I know Anita's going to do a whole transformation, but if you just love your setup and you just want to paint them, go for it. And you might say to yourself, hey, I'm seeing wooden cabinets coming back, more warmer tones and actual stained cabinetry coming back. But again, it's not going to come back in that orangey/golden oak.
No.
That's just not happening.
Mm-mm.
So it'd be really hard to strip them and then stain them a different color. Much easier to apply some paint.
That's right. I mean, that orangey undertone is not coming back. It's going to be a cooler, not with that yellow in there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yep. What's your next one?
Oh my gosh. Well, the 50 Shades of Grey. We love gray. We think gray is a classic. We each have gray, variations of gray in our homes, and I'm sure we'll continue to do so. But if you, again, went really hard into the gray, like other people might have done in the white, where the sofa is gray, the area rug is tones of gray, the pillows are gray, too much gray, right? And even in the heyday of gray, that would have been too much gray. There's just not going to be any soul to a room like that. So think about adding in some colors. Keep your gray. Certainly don't toss out a gray sofa. That's a perfect neutral foundational piece. But work in some other colors. Find some accent colors that you love and pop them in there. And I think your room is going to come alive.
Well, you're so right, Kelly. There's nothing wrong with some gray. I think it's great, but you can't have everything gray. And we've seen a lot of that, where a room is just all gray and white and there's ne'er another color in the room. And I think that's difficult. Or if you have that cool gray on the walls, that's very hard to work with and that looks very dated. So a warmer gray, it will work so much better on the wall. So if you're picking a gray, go with something warmer. And I think you're going to be a lot happier with it, but definitely mix in some other colors. And we were talking about the ceiling fans, but also the boob lights. You didn't mention the boob lights, did you?
No, we just mentioned them in conjunction with the possibility of them being part of the light kit for a ceiling fan.
All right, but I've seen recently some boob lights on the ceiling, and those need to go.
So bad.
And you can go with the can lights. You can go with a pendant, depending on where it is. Anything but the boob light.
Yeah,
and there's plenty of flush mount lights. If you don't have room for it to, hang down very low, just get a flush mount of anything but a boob light.
Exactly. Okay, sleigh beds. Now, if you have a sleigh bed and you're not Mr. and Mrs. Claus, maybe it's time to rethink it because they take up so much space. They really, you can picture them. They're carved. They're a dark wood. They were of a time. And they're no longer of that time. Something more streamlined. If you like a bed that has a lot of presence, maybe you try some very streamlined canopy type situation. If you want a bed that's really going to make a statement. But a sleigh bed with the bottom and then the headboard, it's going to date the room.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I'm so glad we went with a brass and iron bed many, many years ago. And it's still in style. So...
Well, yeah, that's really never going to go out of style. And if you have a classic design to it, not too much going on, which could lead me, and I'll just jump in here with one more, any heavy iron accents. We all saw that happening, and it went on for a long time.
The wall art, you mean?
Either the wall art, and you were like, oh, it's $14.99. I'm just going to get that, right? Oh, it's so great. I'll just hang it. Or your banister or your stair rail is really heavy ironwork. Unless you're living in a period Mediterranean home, probably not so good. There were front doors that had glass and then I'm not talking leading. I'm talking about like ironwork worked in. If there's a lot of that going on in your home, I would get rid of that.
Block glass in the bathroom. I mean, and I get why it was popular. It lets the light in, but it gives you privacy. But it's really not used anymore, so that's really going to give you a dated look. So if you can replace that with a regular window and then just use a window covering as needed there,
yeah,
you're going to be so much happier.
And anytime I've ever seen those walls or section of the walls, it's never really done well either. Like the grouting or the caulking, maybe it had to be repaired over the years because it was a look a long time ago. I don't know. It doesn't look clean either, and probably hard to clean. So really not great at all. And I mean, do we even have to say tile countertops? Because I mean, that's just so bad. It was just such an ill-informed idea, trend, whatever, mishap, whatever you want to call it in the 80s. And I don't even know how anyone could live with something like that now. Because if it was put in then, there's no way, even if you're my mom, that grout is clean now.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Yeah, I agree. It's just hard to work with. Even if you like the look, it's just not very doable. Definitely not in a kitchen. What about a popcorn ceiling? And the builders did such an injustice to us. I don't think anybody even wanted it, but they put it in all these houses. And if your house is of a certain age, you probably have a popcorn ceiling. But it can be covered with drywall or with wood planking. And I'm going to link to Edith and Evelyn's post on how she covered her popcorn ceiling with wood planks. And that's a great option if you need to do that.
Well, they put it in because it was cheap.
Yeah.
And they also put it in and it has asbestos in it oftentimes. So we're probably out of that phase now. But be careful.
Yeah, it depends on the age of your house when it was done. But definitely 70s. And earlier, you better be very careful, with removing that.
Phrases on plaques or posters or pieces of wood like live, love, laugh. I say hiccup, burp, puke. Just get rid of it. We all know that's what you should be doing. You don't need it. I saw it carved on a lamp recently. Like, really? We don't need that. So, no.
Well, and the corollary to that is the chalkboard walls. Remember when that was popular?
Yes.
Everyone was painting a wall in their kitchen black and then writing recipes on it and so forth and so on.
But it would take you the entire week because your font and your writing had to be great, and you just step back and you'd see it going slanty. I mean, writing on a chalkboard, unless you're a teacher, like that is not a skill everyone's born with. I never did that. I was tempted because you'd think that would be so fun, and my kids were really little then, but imagine all the chalk dust. There's just no way I could do that.
Another thing that I am not going to go into why this is bad. I think it needs no explanation, but it's carpet in the bathroom. So.
No words.
So I think that one is self-explanatory.
I'm like reeling a little bit. Okay, well, let's end on that one then, because enough said.
You can't get any worse than that, can you?
No, you really can't. So what is our DTT defines for today?
Well, I saw you earlier on video today, Kelly, and I saw that you have this particular thing in your office, and that is a knee wall.
Ooh, okay. And I must say, you looked marvelous in the video. And we'll tell you guys about this, what we did today, when it gets a little closer to the time that it's being released. So just a little teaser there. Now tell us about the knee wall.
So it's a short wall. It's less than 8 feet, but it's usually more than 3 feet, and it supports the rafters in your attic. So it's usually found in older homes when the ceiling on the top floor is actually the underside of the roof. So if you convert an attic to a room, then you're probably going to have a knee wall. And the room you were in, I assume, used to be an attic. Is that right?
Yeah, it was an attic, but the man who lived here before used it as his office. And you can't even imagine what was up here, like bunk beds, workout equipment, something that looked like either Jack LaLanne invented it or it was some sort of medieval torture machine. I don't know how he got all that stuff up here with the little staircase, and you have to kind of tilt your head to the left so you don't bonk your noodle. But now I'm up here and I love it. And yes, I do have a knee wall. Good observation, Anita.
Right. So if you have one of these knee walls, you can't walk too close to the sidewalls because the as the ceiling slants down, you're going to run out of room.
Yes.
Unless you're really short. So then you're fine.
Sometimes I can get by, but sometimes I hit my head. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Oh, my crush is this really great product that I don't have in my own home, but I have it in 2 clients' homes now, and I'm wanting to get some for my own home. It's a company called Port Hall, Porte Hall, Hall. And gosh, all they make are doormats, like really niche. So they have the outsider, the insider, a runner, and also an area rug 4x6. That's as big as it gets. It's really, really great quality. And because they're so specific and niche, they do this particular type of rug really well. It's got a nice coating underneath it, so you don't need any kind of rug pad or something if you were using it inside. And so I've had an experience now with the gray tones, and then they have this really nice sort of heathered, darker sisal. Absolutely beautiful. Really feels good on your feet, too. So highly recommend this company. And they're not that exorbitantly priced and so well made. They should advertise with us. I'm going to tell them they should because I'm giving them such a wonderful recommendation. But we'll have the link in the show notes and you could check them out.
Oh, that sounds fun. Well, my crush is something that we used extensively last weekend. We moved Evie into a new apartment. It's in the same building that she was in, but we had to, well, actually it's in a different building, but the same complex, I should say. So we had to carry a lot of stuff from one building to the other, and we had dollies and we had things to move the furniture and to move the boxes, but her little wagon worked so well, and it's not the old style, was it the red flyer?
Oh,
red wagon?
Yeah. Radio Flyer, I think, right?
Radio Flyer. Okay, that's right. I knew that was not quite right. So this is a collapsible wagon. It's fabric lined, and it can be collapsed to fit in a closet, and it's not going to be as heavy as the metal wagons because it's got a metal frame, but then a fabric liner. And she, of course, got hot pink, but we used it so much. But I suggested she get it because now that she's up on the 4th floor, she has a little further to go. And I thought this would save her so many trips from the car to her apartment when she goes to the grocery store or when she comes back from being out of town. And she actually happens to have a little garage, so she can keep it in her garage. But anyway, I'll include the link. But actually, I bought one for myself, too. I'm very excited.
That sounds so cute. So is it like a wagon? You pull it on the handle? Or is it taller? Okay, that's so great.
Yes, but it holds, I want to say, 150 pounds. We put all kinds of stuff in it.
Wow.
Although she was very careful. She did not want us to put anything in there that was going to get it dirty. So she was very careful. I plan to use it unloading the car at our farm. So ours may not stay as clean as hers was.
Wow. Well, maybe people could even pull their little kids around it. I mean, that sounds comfy with the fabric.
Actually, I know you've seen it, and people do put their kids in these wagons, and you see them at like maybe picnics or at the beach or at maybe a parade. You see parents pulling their kids and other things in these little wagons. I'm sure you've seen it.
Well, it's been so much fun today. I really enjoyed going through our list. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.